is what to expect, the social and emotional learning that we do in the classroom, the work habits that are expected of our fourth grade students. We're going to cover some things about the curriculum of math and writing, reading, and social studies. Then we're going to go into some homework expectations and the support that you could provide for your child at home. And then we'll talk a little bit about testing. And then at the end, we'll take any questions you guys may have.
All right, so some things to expect as your fourth grader grows. This information comes from Yardsticks, which is part of our social emotional community building kind of umbrella of work, which is responsive classroom. And so some of the things that we'll kind of start to see is that they can concentrate on reading, thinking for longer periods, which I, on the first day, was absolutely blown away when they were all doing book tastings for like 45 minutes straight. And I was just like, oh, like they just keep on going. Like they're just very interested. Okay. So that's been really exciting to see. They're really interested in reaching out to others, thinking about community, and kind of there's the space outside of them, which ties into them seeing the bigger world, justice and fairness, which I know we've had already a lot of conversations about what it means to be fair and how to make sure that things are fair, the difference between equity and equality, and how that looks in classrooms. They work hard for sure and pay attention to details. Sometimes they're paying more attention to details than I am, and they'll correct me. I've seen that recently, but that's been very fun. Group activities are definitely their favorite. It seems like that is just their absolute go-to, especially I was watching outside at recess this afternoon, and it was just interesting to see how everybody was completely engaged in exactly what they were doing in their groups, which kind of connects to our back one down here, which is very competitive and may start to form some cliques. So these are some things that you might start to notice and that we're addressing, through our conversations in morning meeting and whole class read alouds and things like that, and trying to work with them on how to navigate these things and help them relieve anxiety. So yeah, it's a big year of growth, and so it's exciting to be on that journey with them and seeing how they progress, but it seems like they're off to a good start.
Social emotional learning. In fourth grade and in PS6 as a whole, I think we really pride ourselves in the social emotional learning of all of our children. We're truly committed to their well-being, and we really work towards that goal every single day in our classrooms, every single classroom. We help them develop the skills, empathy, kindness, just like Risa said, respect, and active listening. One of the main ways that we do this is by using responsive classroom. And we do this through our morning meetings. We have community circle and closing circles. We have a share box. All of our classrooms take some quiet time, especially after recess or lunch. Or some of us call it the Big 10, which is 10 minutes of just quiet, cool down moment. And it really helps them, reset and continue their learning for the rest of the day. Family engagement. As this year, hopefully, things start to look more normal, we really would like to see some more of that. We'd love for you to come into our classrooms. Hopefully later in the year, we'll start some signups for that. If you want to share anything about your career, your culture, hobbies, anything you'd love to share with our classroom, we'd really love that. And of course, field trips, parents as learning partners, any opportunity that we have in our classrooms for you to come and, collaborate as a team. We really appreciate all those moments. Of course, our read alouds, we definitely do those throughout the school year, especially now at the beginning of the school year is when we do many, many lovely read alouds that the kids love. And of course, our ruler curriculum.
So in terms of work habits, a really, really big part of fourth grade is developing independence. and making sure that students are growing in their ability to be responsible with their materials, with their time. The three things that we state constantly at PS6 are to be kind, be safe, be responsible. So that goes, throughout, really making sure that as you're now fourth graders, you're really in the older group of the school. Fourth and fifth grade, you really become the role model. So making sure that everywhere, we walk and we see the students, we're being safe, we're being kind, and being responsible. That also goes with having students materials every day. So whereas in the younger grades, they might be relying a lot on their grown-ups to make sure that they have their homework, they have their notes, they have their snack. We do push students in fourth grade to really take ownership over making sure that they're prepared every day for school. Do they have the pencils they need? Did they ask their grown-up to sign something? Did they bring the book back to school? And with that, also developing their study habits. So we'll talk a little bit more about some of the homework and expectations that we have, but one thing that we do is Wordly Wise, and that's a vocabulary program. And each week, at the end of the week, we'll have a quiz on those vocabulary words. And really, a main goal of that, with of course learning those words and parts of speech, is also developing the habits of studying and preparing for any kind of quiz or assessment. Also developing time management skills, whether it's in school for assignments or projects, or if it's at home. Throughout projects, we'll give students timelines to help them and say, I should really be completing this part within this amount of time and this part within this amount of time, and helping them to learn that, if we set ourselves up with these expectations and these goals, then we'll be, setting ourselves up for success. And fourth grade is a really big time for that. Like Risa said earlier, students love to work collaboratively, especially in fourth grade. They start to really enjoy working in groups, thriving working in groups. So our expectations and what we aim to do is to help them work well independently and also in groups, learning those skills of how do we navigate group conversation and group dynamics while working together. And then a big thing that we talk about is advocating for themselves. So taking initiative when they're working on something, and if they need help, letting their teachers know or letting their classmates know, hey, can you help me with this? Because it's really important that as they're getting older, they're learning, it's okay if I don't understand something, but I have to figure out what's the best way to learn that. So making sure they're staying focused, and when they need help, they're speaking up about that.
And so now we're going to talk a little bit about the math curriculum. So some of the expectations